Good, beautiful morning, and welcome to Supernatural Saturday. The meditation portion of our program is both instructional and practical in terms of helping you to liberate yourself from the limitations in your mind. And today we're going to be focusing on frequency elevation. And I've got a group with me called the Divine Collective. And the simple objective is just to begin to understand what is raising your frequency and how you can actually do that. And it's a beautiful new day. Just going to wait a couple minutes here. So what is elevating your frequency and what is not elevating your frequency? Let's go into that just a little tiny bit. You have different components that make up what you call your identity here on Earth. You have very different components. You have a physical component, which is, this instrument of the biology that you have. Then there's this other component, which is what you call your thoughts, your memories, that make up what you call your personality, the identified individual that you call yourself, whether that is John or Mary or Bill or Josephine, whatever your individual personality name is. So you've got that body, and you've got that personality construct, that group of thoughts and memories that make up this personality that you call yourself. William or Jennifer or whatever name you choose, and all the memories that are connected to that name, you say is my life. That's who I am. You say that. And yet there's a very logical and practical way to understand something, that your body is something that you use. It's very obvious that you use it. You are utilizing it. It's an instrument of creating through matter, because the body is of matter. Raising the frequency of the body is one facet that we're going to address today. And another free facet of raising your frequency we'll address is thought. And the third element of raising your frequency we will address is your awareness. Now, your awareness in its purest state is unbound and interconnected with all that is in consciousness. Physical, invisible, other dimensional. Your awareness has the ability to be connected to all of that. You have the ability to be connected to all of that consciously through your awareness. What happens for many is you come down into this place of matter, the body, and you begin to experience this world from the perspective of a physical body, which has what you call pleasure and pain. And those two composing elements become mechanisms that cause the body to act and respond in certain ways in relation to the environment. From that perspective of being, you simply experience yourself as a series of effects and causes from a physical plane of consciousness, but it does not allow you to raise your frequency. So how then do you raise the frequency of the body? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How do you then raise the frequency of the body so that it is not so caught up in the causes and effects of the environmental conditions that often pull your attention away from your awareness and into the survival elements of the body, that is the pain, pleasure, fight or flight consciousness, which brings you to it and it alone, and then you become subjective to the experience of the body. One of the first steps to alleviating yourself, we often say, is a process of getting the body to be still, to be quiet, to be open and receptive to your awareness in that position where your body is not distracted by environment. Your senses are placed dormant. You place your senses dormant, because you can do that. You can close your eyes and make the visual receptor less distracted. You can you can turn your attention inward, and your ears become less distracted by the environment, and you can place your attention away from the smells and go inward, away from the world. Pull your attention away from the world. And as you do that, the survival mechanism of the body begins to go into a state of being muted. In other words, it is no longer hooked into the environment and reacting and responding to the events and circumstances that surround it. For example, you are closing your ears and you are inside, you're staying within, and a fire truck comes by. But you aren't distracted by the fire truck. You don't feel yourself questioning or wondering. It's just a fire truck going by, and you remain in this place undistracted by that movement of energy through the continuance of the physical dimension. You remain just simply in that position where the body is apprehending information, but you're not reacting or responding to it. You're simply observing. And in that state where you are simply observing and aware that there are smells, there are sounds, there are sensations, but you're not distracted or disturbed by them, when you do that, the body's instinctual mechanism is now no longer reactionary. It's no longer reactionary to the world around you. It is simply being still, being quiet, being open and receptive to you, the awareness. Also, to raise the frequency of the body, you may consider the consumption of things that increase and enhance its sense of well-being, such things as foods that are living and alive, good water to keep the body thoroughly hydrated. These are elements that are able to raise the frequency of the body, taking it further and further away from the survival mechanisms. When your body is properly hydrated, when it has got the right food substance in it, it is no longer concerned with survival. Even the internal organs of the body, when they are properly nourished and fed, then surrender their concerns around survival. The body then becomes more open and receptive to your awareness, as now it is not worried about survival, and every cell in your body is geared to survival. So when you provide the body with what it thoroughly needs, whether that is food or water or activity, so that all your joints and everything are given proper attention, they're no longer concerned about whether they are going to survive or not. Now the body is surrendered to you, and its frequency goes up because it is not captured by these elements of survival, fight or flight. It's no longer stuck in those anymore. And so it can rest, and it remains undisturbed. And you as awareness are now aware that it is at rest. The second area of raising your vibration is being able to become disengaged from your personality. And when I say your personality, I'm referring to the memory of the self that you think you are, the memory of that personality that you believe is who you are, whether you are Joseph or Mary or Jane, it does not matter. When you're not distracted by the memory of the personality or the future concerns about the personality, which again are also connected to the survival impetus of the body. And so you pull your attention back away from thoughts into an observational perspective where you are observing and watching thought, watching memory, not distracted by it. Simply, you are on a peak of awareness and looking down at that thought and that memory and that future consideration, but you're not encapsulated by them like most people are when they're in a thought about this or a thought about that, and they're in the thought, and oh, I remember that, and you're now caught in the vibration of those things, and you're contracted down, held into those limited perceptions of being. In the process of becoming observational of thought, you immediately begin to quiet the mental mechanism down. So now you have the biological mechanism that is now in that place of calm, stillness, and quiet. Through proper hydration, through proper food, through proper breathing, you place the body in an undistracted place, so it simply relaxes and it surrenders itself to you. And now you are no longer distracted by the body. You're no longer individualized in the form the same way, so that you now are aware, this form is still, this form is quiet. It is open and receptive and relaxed and peaceful. It is that now. You have that awareness, and in that awareness, you are free. You are free to be undistracted. You're free to pursue a different level or frequency of awareness that is not limited to the range of the 5 physical senses. In moving your awareness up to thought, becoming observational of thought, just to observe it. Oh, is that thought about what might happen next? Oh, that memory of when I was 2, or etc. You are no longer examining the thought. You're just simply like the fire truck watching the thought pass you by. You remain undisturbed. Your awareness becomes free again. Because once mind is quiet and body is quiet, then you as awareness have the opportunity to pursue this very profound statement, this profound awareness, which is, again, raising the frequency up deliberately and intentionally. When you are not distracted by body, when you are not distracted by thought, your frequency goes up. Your consciousness expands outside the parameters of the personality of the body and the thoughts of the mind. And as your awareness begins to expand beyond the parameters of body, that localized body, or those individualized thoughts that you've been carrying around with you for such a long time, and you begin to release your attention on those and your attention on the body, there is an expansion that happens. There's an expansion that is happening. Because now you have your body at rest. You are taking your attention away from thoughts. You are not distracted by one thing or another thing. You're simply releasing your attachment to all of those things. And in that release of attachment, there's an expansion. And that expansion causes a change in the frequency of your awareness, which in turn causes a change additionally in the frequency of your mind and your body. When you recognize that your mind and body are no longer defining you, they are simply still, they are simply quiet, they are simply open and receptive to your awareness. From that perspective of your awareness, you are free then from subjectivity to the localized state of the body, the finite state of thoughts. And now you are just aware that you are aware. And in that place of awareness, you can expand further. Expansion allows you to incorporate or include a broader state of being other than the localized state of your body and your thoughts. Your awareness does not have the same limits or considerations that most people do. That when you expand your awareness to consider that you can incorporate the space that surrounds the body that you're sitting in, that your awareness can actually expand and contain the space that surrounds the body, and that your awareness can expand and contain the space that surrounds the building that houses your body, that you can expand your awareness like this, begins to take your consciousness from being localized to being more expanded. As you expand, you incorporate more time and more space as an awareness without being localized to any one point of the self, of a body or a space or a place or a time, as you allow your awareness to expand. Now, to liberate yourself from thought, to liberate yourself from the attachment to any particular thought, affords you the opportunity to break free of this finite state of attachment to the personality that you find yourself expressing as. So that thoughts and memories and emotions cannot encapture you in a small, limited perspective of existence that can often be somewhat uncomfortable when you find yourself thinking you are less than you actually are. And there are many thoughts that people have that give them the illusion that they are less than what they are. But the minute you release your attachment to certain thoughts or certain emotions and certain sensations of the body, you literally liberate your awareness from them in that state of where the body is still and quiet. The mind is still and quiet. You, as awareness, begin to expand. There is an automatic elevation in the frequency of body and mind as you pull their attentions away from the organic mechanisms of senses and thought, memory, and emotion that are contained within that individual body, and you surrender those, there is an immediate shift in your frequency. Even as you're hearing us speak right now, if you can simply allow yourself to give that body permission to be still, to be quiet, to be open and receptive, to just give your body permission to do that, you will feel, as the body is allowed to just relax and be still, that there is a vibrational change in the body. Because when you interact with the body to liberate it from the mechanisms of survival, fight and flight, as you allow it to be at peace, to liberate it from those, there is an immediate expansion, a raising of its frequency from survival to a different state of being. It is not important to know what that state of being is, but that you can experience by the simple act of breath and release and allowing the body to become still and quiet. And you can experience there is a change in the body. It begins to become more calm. It becomes quieter. It becomes less distracted by the environment. And in that, what begins to happen is the vibration begins to expand. And now you are free, when the body is relaxed, to move your attention to the place where there is perhaps the distraction of thought, the distraction of memory, the distraction of future considerations that distract you, and you wonder about this, and you wonder about this, and you wonder about that. To remove those distractions, to simply use your breath to release the distraction, to release your attention, to say, I'm going to release these thoughts. And with your breath, you release those thoughts. And the moment the act of releasing those thoughts occurs, there's a calmness that begins to become apparent to your awareness. And you use the breath again to release any emotion. Because you know that the breath, when you release your breath, you're indicating to the body to let go. You're indicating to emotion and memory to release. You, as awareness, are doing this. The body and the mind in and of itself cannot do this. It has to be directed to this. You have to direct the body to stillness. You have to direct the mind to stillness by releasing thoughts from it through your breathing. You also use the breath to release emotions from your awareness. You use the breath to literally release fear, release anger, release guilt, release shame with your breath. Make the decision and the intention that when you breathe, I perceive this fear, it is in my body, I breathe. I'm going to release the fear as I exhale. And you'll know if you are successful because you will feel yourself experiencing something different. The stress that was caused by thoughts or memories or emotion begins to go down. And as that stress, those distractions begin to diminish, your awareness becomes liberated from them. You begin to expand. You begin to become free of subjectivity to body and mind, and they too become free of unnecessary tension, distraction by the environment or memory or emotion or future consideration, as they become liberated from those processes by your intention. The intention of your breath is very exquisite in its effects, in that the moment you deliberately breathe, there is an assertion of authority over your body. When you deliberately breathe, there is an assertion of authority over that body. And when you exhale, there is an assertion of deliberate authority over that body. As there is in thought, when you use your breath to release thought, there is an assertion of your authority over thought, releasing memory, releasing emotion. This is deliberate. This is delightful. It's deliciously calming and peaceful, because now your awareness is beginning to become free of the distraction of sound and smell and touch and taste. You're simply liberating your awareness, pulling your awareness away from those distractions, which in turn liberates the body from the need for preservation, because you are no longer engaging it in that fashion. You are simply directing it to be still, to be quiet, to be peaceful. That process of liberating your awareness raises your frequency. And when the same is done with your mind, you raise your frequency. And so let us take 3 very deliberate and intentional minutes, 3 very precise fragments of time to breathe the body, release the body from all tension, to breathe the body and release all thought from the mind, all memory, all emotion, just to allow yourself to let them go for a short time, and then to just rest in the stillness of the body, the stillness of the mind, as you have been able to generate it up to this point. So take a slow, deep breath now. And when you exhale, give all the body parts permission to relax. And breathe again. And as you exhale, give all the parts of the body permission to relax. You're liberating your body from distractions of the world with your breath. The act of giving your body permission to relax with your breath liberates the body from distraction of the world and liberates you from distraction of the body. Take 2 more breaths, allowing the body to relax more completely. Give all parts of the body permission to be still. And be aware of the change in how the body is felt by you as it relaxes. Your awareness of the change is the guidance you need to follow as you experience the body relaxing, and the energy that you have created by directing it to do so. You gain awareness that you are able to be free of the distractions of the body. And now move your attention to the place where there are thoughts and memories in your mind, and breathe into that space. And as you exhale, you simply allow your thoughts, you give your mind permission to be still, to be quiet. to be peaceful. And you do 2 more breaths like this. Breathe deeply. As you exhale, deliberately release all thought, all memory, all emotion as you exhale. Breathe 1 more time deeply into the space of thought. And as you exhale, release all thought, all memory, all emotion. As you release thought, memory, and emotion, a further sensation of calm, quiet, and peacefulness becomes perceptible to you. You can begin to feel yourself as awareness, undistracted by thought or body. You can feel that the body is more relaxed. You can feel that the thought is quieter and calmer. And you may at any time utilize the breath of the body to breathe deeply. And as you exhale, to allow the body and the mind to become quieter and calmer and more peaceful still, releasing thought, releasing tension from the body, releasing thought, memory, and emotion from the mind as you exhale. The shift and change in how the body is vibrating can become very apparent to your awareness now. You can feel perhaps the sensations that are different in the body, the tingling sensation in your hands, the vibration in the different cells as they are no longer concerned with survival because they are still open and receptive to your awareness. Therefore, the need for survival is not as apparent. And you can feel how the vibration of the body is more active as a vibration, that there's sensations in your body that you may not have been aware of that feel good because the body is not occupied with survival. And each breath you use, you can take the body into a deeper, more liberated state. You can, again, take the mind to a place of stillness and quiet with each breath as a mechanism to deliberately release thought from the place of your mind so that you're not distracted as awareness, that you are able to be aware without your thinking going on. You're able to be aware without the distractions of your body. And in that place now, a doorway opens. In that place where you are awareness, less distracted by thoughts and memories and emotion, less occupied with the sights and sounds and the senses of the body. You're now awareness. And in this state of being awareness, you are aligning to a vibrational frequency that is not of body, that is not of mind. You are aligning to a frequency of being that does not require either mind or body in order for it to exist. And while you may still be aware that you have a body, you're not as distracted by it. It is simply a body that you are aware you have. As your mind gets quieter, as you use this process of breath to liberate thought from the mind, to not have thought distracting your awareness to it, to not have the sensations of your body distracting your awareness to it, you are beginning to elevate your frequency beyond body, but not separate from it, beyond mind, but not separate from it. You still have these instruments to use, but you now have them in a different state in which you can use them. In the state of stillness, in the state of quietness, you can bring in new ideas and information, inspiration, guidance. You can call upon us or others to afford you information that you can perceive with your awareness, but not through memory, not through concerns, not through the instinctual mechanisms of the body. These are the three fundamental layers of that process of liberation of yourself from the distractions of mind and the distractions of the body, the distractions of the future, to be in the present moment. What does this mean? If you can be in the present moment, what does this mean? It means that you can function very differently, with little or nothing in the way of what you would consider needing attention. You're no longer distracted by your emotions, although you are aware they are there. You have memories, but you're no longer distracted by memories. And in the present moment, you do not have fear. Your fear begins to go away. When your body is undistracted, it's not caught up in survival. Your mind is not caught up in weighing and measuring in fears or concerns or anxieties. You've got them quiet and still. And even the act of a single breath can restore. You can train your mind and body to do this, so that the act of a single breath can restore you to a state of liberated consciousness, where you are not distracted by body and mind in the way you are familiar with. This allows you to open your consciousness up to other possibilities and considerations of your life, that you may begin to consider a life different than the one that your mind has been presenting to you, that you're no longer living your life from your memories. You now have this position in awareness where you are not your thoughts. You are not the body. You have thoughts, you have a body, but you are not them. And in that place, you have free choice, truly in the sense of the word free choice. Most of what you already know predisposes you to certain thoughts, actions, and choosing. And there is no human being on this planet that is exempt from that reality, that certain thoughts, ideas, and beliefs predispose you to do very specific and precise things. Aggression, love, compassion, they are forms of thought, forms of survival, that when you are captured by them, certain behaviors of necessity will unfold. And as long as you are in that state of survival, then the process of fighting is always a possibility, and that is more apparent today in humanity than it was 20 years ago or 30 years ago. The survival impetus of humanity has enslaved us to itself, that many of you perceive the world around you as a threat, and therefore you respond accordingly to very precise behaviors for any that perceive the world as a threat. Very precise behaviors that they will engage in if they perceive the world as a threat. It is quite predictable if there's going to be a war, if one's survival is threatened. You can simply watch an animal in the wild and see very clearly that when its survival is threatened, it will either fight or run. And you see the exact same behavior in the human realm, because most humans believe that their body is what's defining their reality for them. They have lost awareness and touch with their nature of who they really are by that function. So this simple process of breath is for the elevation of your frequency, that you as awareness lose subjectivity to the body and mind, so that you can enable another expression of self other than the one that the world has given you to accept as the only expression that you have, that name, that personality that you believe that you think you are. is not who you are. It is simply one minute expression of an infinite potential that you are. But this process today, this meditation that we have offered you, is very simple. It is instructional, for it is best to be applied on your own so that you gain the valuable experience with learning and experiencing the liberation of your awareness from subjectivity to the fears of the body, from subjectivity to the concerns and considerations of the mind and emotions, to experience that you can be free of those, is a pursuit that many of you are undertaking right now. These conditions that you call mental dis-ease is nothing more nor less than the pursuit of your desire to be liberated from a limited sense of the self, to free your awareness from conceptions that you know do not accurately reflect who you are, that your depression and your anger and your sadness do not accurately reflect the nature of who and what you truly are. But then when you can release the energy of your fear, your anger, your depression, when you can release them, then you become free to become aware of what you are as a vibration, and you instill or install in the body a new awareness of the being, not simply the being that has been installed in the body by your environment, but you begin to install a new self. And then you begin to liberate your awareness from the body's distractions, the mind's distractions, the thoughts' distractions. As you liberate yourself from them, your vibration, your consciousness begin to expand to a broader realm of information and knowledge, that you can begin to access connectivity to other beings and consciousnesses, other dimensional realms that would afford you all knowledge and information that is not readily available to you in this world, but which is always available to you in the realm of your being, an expanded awareness that encompasses more time and space than simply that finite little body that you find yourself in. Wow, thank you. Hi, Allison. Hi, Drusilla. Hi, Nicole. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, Heather. Heather saying, having a tough time sleeping for over 2 months. Any advice from my angels? You must understand from what we have said that it is not that you are having a tough time sleeping. It is more accurate to say that you're having a difficult time placing your body and your mind into the position that they should respectively be in relation to who you are, that your mind and body have somehow allowed themselves to have more control and determination over what you are experiencing. But you can simply apply what we've said, even in the process of lying in that bed in an attempt to sleep. Again, the ability to be able to still that body, to make it still, to make it quiet, to make it open and receptive, to get your thoughts and memories and emotions to be still, to be quiet. The act of breathing is your most important instrument to utilize. Very active breath. When you take a breath, you are asserting authority over the biology. And when you take a breath and you release thoughts with your breath, you let them go from your awareness, you're assuming authority over the astral realms or the realms of thought. You release their hold upon you and you become liberated from them. That process of deliberate breathing will loan itself to your falling asleep. Even now, if you were to be doing this for the duration we've been speaking, some of you could easily have fallen asleep, because once you have liberated yourself from the exhausting experience of limitation, when you release yourself from the exhausting process of divisive and fractured thought based on a past, a future that never engages the present, there is a great freedom that begins to be felt that will put your body at great rest indeed. Hello, Melissa. Hi, Con. Wonderful. Oh, you're very welcome, Heather. So glad it helped. Question from Sunny. I read about a plant-based vaccine developed in Canada this morning. Is this high vibe coming from Gaia? Um, I'm just getting laughter. There is nothing, there are very few man-made things made from the mind of mind, made from that mind that is of a divine expression. The only vaccine one truly requires is a vaccine of vitality in their mind. Yes, I see. So I have not heard of such a thing, of that, but I do know that in that place of consciousness where you are giving your body and your mind permission to be still, to be quiet, to be open and receptive, that you are inoculating your mind and body to a different state of being. And the effects on biology, the effects on what occur to the body and around the body changes accordingly. Thank you for the question. Question from Heather. So I'm totally centered in the day, but now I'd like to ask, what do you think about the shift in sleep? I feel an attack on my life because I'm expanding on my sleep. Again, if you are experiencing such a thing as an attack, again, you are becoming localized by your awareness to a specific point of experiential consciousness, much the same way as many of you become localized the experience of believing that that fundamental body is really who you are, that you think that this is who you are. You become limited to that, and then what happens to it affects you only because you're now incorporated as this being the self. But as you know, the minute you liberate your awareness from the body, there's a different energy. You're not affected by these things around you. Even mystical beings that have perfected mastery over their body can take their body into great extremes, and the body is not harmed because it's no longer governed by its survival mechanism. It's governed by a higher awareness that recognizes its influence and effect over the conditions of matter. Yes. Question from Nancy. Any message for me? I don't know what this is, but they're saying you need to laugh. You need to get your body and mind laughing. Laughter will really shift your perspective, even now, to be willing to just laugh. Even right now, to laugh out loud, you will feel the change we're speaking of. But you need laughter. For you, this would be a kickstart in a direction of energy that you've been seeking to go for some time now. But laughter will be your kickstart. It's funny. I like that. Question from Bita. Hello, Bita. Any guidance on the situation of me and my husband, please? Any message for me? It's funny. I'm just hearing the words I'm hearing. I don't know who this is, but the words are saying, look into my eyes, O beloved, and know that I am present with you. Look deep into my eyes and know that I am present with you. Wow. And literally, it's like looking into the eyes of the other person and recognizing that. Recognizing that. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Beta. That's a great question. Question from Danielle. Daniela, have you a message for my sister or my friend Sheridan? Do you have a message for Sheridan? I don't know what this is, but they're just saying, put it away. Put that away. I don't know what they're referring to, but they're just saying, put it away. And again, I don't know what that means or what that's in relation to, but they're just saying very loudly, very clearly, put it away. So I don't know what that will mean to them, but whatever it means to them, tell them, if they understand it, to please put a statement in the comment section to let people know what that means. Question from SJK. I just got a great job offer that means I will move to a whole new location in life. Any advice for me? Thanks. Woohoo! That's our advice to you. That's wonderful. Celebrate the dynamic wonder of the change that you have worked so diligently to manifest. So many of you get invited into this realm of change that when it comes, you hesitate because you know you will not be the same person again. What a delight that you can be free of what you have been thinking and believing that you are. What a delight that you now have the opportunity to liberate yourself from that altogether. That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. Wow. It's great. Thank you, Heather, for that super chat. Really appreciate it. And I think we're just about done for the day. Question from JC. Any question from my uncle Jim that passed last month? I'm just getting that he's still processing that soul, that one that you called that soul, that individual, is still processing its experience of what it is now. You must understand that the nature of what you call the passing of an individual is not what you think it is. That when one loses the attachment to the form, there is a great liberation that happens, albeit most are not conscious of that. But this one is being very conscious of this transition from matter to being. Yes. In 2 months hence, this one will speak with you. In 2 months from this day, this one will speak with you. Wow. 2 months in our time, it's a lot different experience. Time's a different experience when you're not in the body. As you all know that. Everyone knows that when your body falls asleep, time can go by like this, right? When you're not in your body, when your soul, your awareness is disengaged from the body, you experience time and space differently. But you don't need to have the body die to come to that awareness. You can actually get the body to a state of what we were saying earlier, getting the body to that place where it is not distracted by the world and it's relaxed and open. You can literally liberate your soul from it and become more aware of what you are as a being. Very fascinating. Yes, it is. It can be really, it's only scary for the old self, SJ. It's only scary for the old self. When you step into a whole new realm of being, the only part of you that's scared is the self that you're used to being. That's the only part that makes you scared. You have to become someone else. Have fun with that. What a delight. You don't have to be the same person your entire life. You get to change. What a wonderful idea. Thank you, Allison. Really appreciate that. Oh, thank you so much. What a great community we have. So remember, yes, they want me to say this as well. It's really important that you understand the simplicity that is before you to liberate yourself from your suffering. There is a very exacting simplicity to liberating yourself from your suffering. This is just one of many simple mechanisms for liberating yourself from suffering. The deliberate act of making your body breathe is an assertion of your authority over matter. It's an assertion of your, and if you can make the body breathe, then you can also direct the body to relax, to let go, to turn loose. You have that authority when you know you have that authority. And as you apply that process of breath, as you apply the process of liberating the body from tensions, you gain the awareness and the knowledge that you have greater authority over the body. Likewise, the same is true for your thoughts and your memories and your emotions. When you learn that you can use your breath to liberate yourself from them, then you can also find yourself in a position of awareness that you were not in before, that your thoughts, your memories, and your emotions can be brought to a place of stillness and silence. And you can feel the joy of your being awareness, being aware that you are aware. And in that joy of being awareness, being aware that you are aware, there is a vibrational freedom, an elevation in your frequency that will be also experienced and felt by both body and mind. It is our delight today that you would do this, to have the simple understanding that your thoughts, your memories, and your emotions are not the nature of who you are, but mechanisms that you utilize in creative expression of your awareness into conditions of thought and matter. But that you as awareness can operate separate and distinctly with mind and matter. You can orchestrate them very differently than they can orchestrate themselves. Whereas the body and mind are tending to be reactionary to environmental conditions, you do not have to be. And in the state of being aware, you no longer are reactionary. And in that state of awareness, responses become available to you that are not reactionary. Responses become available to you that are not reactionary from the perspective of what you are as awareness versus the perspective of what your memory is or what your body is. We are delighted to be with you today and honored to share these simple steps during this great time of ascension that is happening on your planet right now. And you can see very clearly where in the world there are those that are identified with survival as being the only function of their consciousness, where the physical being of one's nature, determines what they do rather than the actual consciousness that they are. So they are reacting to this thing and that thing. Those are whole societies that are engaged in believing that the physical nature of one's body is the exclusive point of one's identity, and that is simply not true. And so in your awakening, in your becoming free of your body and your thoughts, you loan to the collective consciousness of humanity a different energy. You individually can do this, the freedom of your consciousness, of your mind, of your body. To not be reactionary opens the doorway to these other dimensions of information, knowledge, and wisdom that your mind and body cannot access, but you can. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you, Drusilla. I want to say thank you to everybody for coming out today, and thank you for the super chats. Also want to mention next week, we got some very fun things next week. I'm excited about Monday. On Monday, February the 28th, we've got Father Sun, Mother Earth, Sibling Planets. And that's going to be with Nostradamus, Copernicus, and Leonardo da Vinci. They're going to be present. I don't know who's going to be speaking, if they're all going to be speaking, but they're going to be present to share their insights and wisdom on Father, Sun, Mother Earth, Sibling Planets. On Wednesday, March the 2nd, I have Kuan Yin coming in to talk about divine independence. And I'm really excited because what's happened today, this meditative process, I encourage you to apply what the Divine Collective has been saying today. Apply the meditation process. Get your body and mind still and quiet, because this whole thing on divine independence will make really profound sense for you on Wednesday when you have a good sense of how to release your distractions of the body, the distractions of the mind, and release yourself from those distractions, if only for a few minutes a day. But then the conception of divine independence, as she'll explain it, will make perfect sense to us. On this coming Friday, we've got A New Earth Dawns, and that's Friday, March the 4th. It's called A New Earth Dawns, and that's going to be with Master Saint Germain. And last but not least, if you're new to the channel, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you'll get notified whenever we come live. And we come live Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays on the channel. You can support this channel through my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. You can also support this through my PayPal link, which is again in the description box or in the link on my banner on my YouTube channel. Also, for those of you that are looking to connect to or expand your capabilities by getting connected to your guides and angels directly, to learn how you can actually open up your perceptual apparatus to become aware of your guides, your angels, the ascended masters, the other beings that work with you, the fairies, the gnomes, the dragons. There's many different dimensional realms of consciousness. I encourage you to go to my website, WilliamMichaelForbes.com, and check out our Mediumship 101 program, which begins Saturday, March the 5th at 11 a.m. So I highly recommend you coming to our Mediumship program, and that's Mediumship 101 Masterclass Beginner's Course, and that's next Saturday. It starts at 11 a.m. I want to wish you all a much wonderful and joyful day. I look forward to seeing you on Monday on Shortcuts for Your Soul. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.